As he was running, he said, "Rods, the kids, Rods, please, the kids, I'm shot," and he fell down.
Police capture a suspect believed to be linked to a failed hijacking during which a father was shot and killed in front of his children. Gauteng officials admit that the system has failed this woman. Nomsa Maduna was murdered allegedly by her former partner. This is eNews at 8 p.m. I'm Tony Ndoro. Very good evening. A Durban father has been killed in front of his two young children during an attempted hijacking. The shooting in Avoca is the second fatal hijacking in the city in less than a week. Two suspects were shot dead in a gunfight with police in KwaMashu about 12 hours later. As Dasen Thathiah reports, a third suspect was later arrested at a clinic.
This is where it all ended for a group of suspected hijackers. Two killed in a shootout with police and a third later arrested while trying to treat his wounds at a clinic. They're thought to be behind a series of crimes in the nearby Avoca suburb on Thursday evening. Rodney Padiachi was with his friend Kelly Chetty and Chetty's two children outside a local shop. They were confronted by three armed men.
It just, I don't know, just went left and shot right in front of my face. At that point, I didn't know Kelly was shot. I jumped underneath his hand. I tried to get out of the vehicle as quick as I could. I got out of the vehicle. Kelly then opened his door and ran around the vehicle. As he was running, he said, "Rods, the kids, Rods, please, the kids, I'm shot," and he fell down.
While the men made off in another motorist's car, Chetty took his final breaths at the roadside as his children watched helplessly.
I'd phoned his dad to pick his kids up because, I mean, the lady that was watching them, I don't know, maybe she couldn't control him. They actually ran back and they saw the dad on the floor and they were screaming. They were hysterical.
What were they saying to him?
My dad, wake up.
The Avoca community is calling for more visible policing following the attack. Dasen Thathiah, Avoca in Durban.
To another horrific story about a parent killed in front of their child. Gauteng officials are admitting that the system has failed a woman who was allegedly murdered by the father of her three children. Nomsa Maduna was about to board a taxi when she was shot and killed on Wednesday. It's now emerged that several cases were opened against the man in the past, but nothing was done. The suspect has since been arrested. Malungelo Boy has the story.
This is where Nomsa Maduna was shot 3 times. She was heading to work accompanied by her brother and her 19-year-old son. The 39-year-old had moved back home after running away from her ex-partner, against whom she had a restraining order. Nomsa's son says he doesn't think he can ever erase what he witnessed, but he says police have to take some of the blame.
He had friends who were police. So every time when my mom pressed charges, maybe the target will go missing and things like that. So the police failed us.
What do you want to see happen?
Die.
You want him to die?
Die.
You want him dead?
Dead.
A Gauteng government team set up to look at the issues of women and children abuse visited Maduna's family. Officials concede they could have done more.
This is an old case of domestic violence, and I won't pretend that it was never raised with me by the family. After numerous cases were opened and no action was taken against this perpetrator, and the family raised it with me, I think it was 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months ago. And I took it up with the police leadership. If he was arrested after all those cases were registered at the station, which is Enadale police station, we could have saved her life.
But MEC, why was he not arrested?
That is one thing that I think I need to follow up of why this guy was never arrested, and I will make sure that we, when the results come, I will be able to make them public.
Has the system failed this lady?
I think so, they did.
Officials say they are prioritizing counseling for Maduna's family. Malungelo Pui, Soweto.
One person was shot dead today during a shootout over taxi routes in Pietermaritzburg. Now, it's suspected that members of rival associations are behind the violence. These are the scenes that brought the CBD to a halt earlier. Now, KwaZulu-Natal Transport MEC Mxolisi Kaunda says a lengthy court battle prevented the department from getting involved in a dispute about routes. Our reporter Sipamandla Goge was at the scene.
1 dead, 4 injured. And that's the aftermath of heavy gunfire in one of the busiest taxi ranks in Pietermaritzburg. 2 rival taxi associations are fighting over a lucrative route from Pietermaritzburg to Harwich. Dizimeleni and Pietermaritzburg long distance associations deny that they are the cause for this shooting. Bystanders and onlookers had to take cover as automatic rifles went on in broad daylight. Few meters from the taxi rank, a school had to evacuate pupils for fear of their safety. Transport authorities in KwaZulu-Natal are talking tough, saying perpetrators will be brought to book, but they are not saying how. Police are investigating murder, attempted murder, arson, and malicious damage to property cases. Sipamandla Goge, Pietermaritzburg.
Patients at Charlotte Maxeke Hospital are relieved that they're able to receive treatment again. Now, many say they feared for their lives after they were caught in the middle of violent employee protests. Workers downed tools and trashed corridors around the healthcare facility yesterday. Calm has now returned, but the hospital remained heavily guarded today. Kaya Kumalo has more.
This is one of the patients who felt scared and powerless when striking workers went to the rampage inside Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital.
They started chasing people out of the chemist. Then they went to the casualties. They were pushing people out there, pulling their drips out and stuff. And my one friend said, because he wanted to come visit me, he said that the front door was barricaded, the gate by casualties was barricaded, and there was guys with cloths around their face, throwing people with stones.
She's originally from Cape Town and has been in the hospital for 8 weeks, waiting for a second operation on her knee. It's been postponed twice because of 2 separate strike actions.
Disrupting the whole system, the patients, and we don't have anything to do with it. But we're the ones suffering. We didn't have clean linen. Our operations got postponed. I mean, we were skeleton staffed, The nurses couldn't get. There was one point that actually last month, the nurses had to come to work in normal clothes.
Workers were demanding better wages and bonuses. Health Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi has expressed concern about the hospital's backlog.
They were pulling doctors and nurses out of theatre. 50 operations were supposed to be done in Charlotte Maxeke yesterday. They only did 19. The other 31, they just had to cancel.
Trade Union Nehawu claimed victory on Friday and apologized unreservedly for the destructive strike. Kailihle Kumalo, Johannesburg.
The Guptas have 5 days to return the jet they leased from Canadian state-owned bank Export Development Canada. If they can't, they'll have to explain themselves to court. The controversial family has been found in breach of an earlier court order to return the plane. The Canadian SOE fears that the jet has been used for illegal activities. The plane is being kept at Lanseria International Airport at a cost of hundreds of thousands of rands. The taxpayer is footing the bill. Cape Townians have managed to fight a steep increase in water tariffs. Now, the City of Cape Town proposed the tariffs be raised by up to 55%, but protests and over 24,000 public comments to the city have brought down the increase to 10% for most consumers. So far, the drought and water crisis has set back revenue by 2 billion rand. The new water tariffs will come into effect on the 1st of July. The more you use, the more you'll have to pay. Domestic users will be charged anything between 28 Rand 90 and 1,000 Rand per 1,000 litres used. The city has promised to lower tariffs accordingly if or when water restrictions are relaxed in the future. Coming up after the break, imagine not being paid for months on end. That's what's happening to public works program workers in Klerksdorp. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. Now, eNdumeni local municipality mayor Siboniso Mbatha from the IFP has been released on bail. The mayor and two other accused appeared in the Escort Magistrates Court earlier. Mbatha and Councillor Mthembeni Majola are accused of plotting to kill Council Speaker Bongiwe Mbatha Makhathini. In line with Mbatha's bail conditions, he may not communicate directly with the Speaker. Samkele Maseko was at the court.
eNdumeni local municipality mayor Siboniso Mbatha was granted bail with 2,000 rands by the Escort Magistrates Court. He says there is no infighting within the eNdumeni local municipality led by the eNCA Freedom Party, but there is a contestation for positions for people who want wealth accumulation.
It is the truth that can never be doubtable that the only thing that they need is my position as a mayor, nothing else.
Why do they want your position as the mayor of eNdumeni?
That I cannot narrate further, but the reality of the matter is that since I became the mayor, I've been experiencing number of challenges in eNdumeni.
Mbatha and two other co-accused bail conditions are that they don't interact with the witnesses, including the Speaker of the Council municipality, Bongiwe Mbatha Makhathini. But the mayor can only communicate with her through his PA.
There is no division in the council. The fact of the matter that I tell the people of South Africa is that the Council of eNdumeni will still proceed with its proceedings during the council sittings.
Siboniso Mbatha's case has now been postponed to the 4th of July for the states to continue with its investigations. Samkele Maseko, Escort, KwaZulu-Natal.
Contract workers in the Northwest are pleading for their salaries. The Provincial Public Works Department has not paid them for several months now. Some expanded public works program beneficiaries who are drawn from the most vulnerable in society have gone to work without fail for 3 months without receiving a single cent. Our reporter Michael Apple has this exclusive.
The Northwest. It's a province recently placed under administration. Looking at the Auditor General's most recent municipal audit report for 2016-2017, this was done for good reason. The AG says it takes municipalities on average 240 days, that's 8 months, to pay service providers. The Provincial Public Works annual report from last year shows 270 million rand was budgeted for the expanded public works program. It's unclear how much of that was actually spent. The Public Works website states the program aims to provide poverty and income relief for the unemployed through temporary work. These women are beneficiaries of the EPWP in the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Municipality. Several claim they're working for Northwest Public Works without contracts, but that's not all.
Ke na le 3 months ke theogela ke sa gole and ko tlung ke mme ke ntate ke na le bana ba bararo le malume wa le nna ke phela ka yone 3.5 eo ke ne ke kopa gore government e nthusa gore kgwedi le kgwedi shelter ka ikene ka nako.
They say they've continued to report for their landscaping duty at the Tsapong Hospital despite remaining unpaid.
Ke na breadwinner ko gae yaanong ha ke dula batla go mpela gore ha ke serious ya ke batle mmereko.
The Northwest Public Works Director for the Expanded Public Works Program, Mbolelo Tunzi, confirms the beneficiaries have not been paid for April and May. He says this is due to administrative issues which he believes have now been resolved. He says the workers should be paid their outstanding salaries soon. Michael Apple, Klerksdorp in the Northwest.
Right, here's a quick look at news from further afield. Pedro Sanchez has taken over as Prime Minister of Spain. Outgoing leader Mariano Rajoy lost a parliamentary confidence vote triggered by a long-running corruption trial which included members of his own party. Experts say Sanchez's appointment further casts Spain into an uncertain political landscape. Here's a recap of your main stories for this evening.
He said, Rods, the kids, Rods, please, the kids, I'm shot, and he fell down.
Police capture a suspect believed to be linked to a failed hijacking during which a father was shot and killed in front of his children. After the break, it'll be time for your weather details, and then a psychic cat is set to predict the Russia World Cup results. That story and more when we return.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather Center. The cold front that brought pretty wet conditions in parts of the Western Cape throughout Friday has been moving eastward throughout the day, and it's now affecting the western areas of the Eastern Cape, and things are going to become dry over much of Western South Africa this evening. It will stay mostly fine for the rest of the country. Then on Saturday, we start off the day with a bit of drizzle along the KZN and coastal areas and that Dasen interior. Then later on, things will clear out, leaving us with mostly sunny and warmer weather for much of Central and Eastern South Africa. But over the western sections, we will stay with a bit of drizzle for the first half of the day along the southwest coastline and the Dasen interior ahead of this cold front which hits these parts of the country by the early evening hours, introducing heavier rains over the western areas of the Western Cape. Now on Saturday, we are going to once again see mostly sunny skies across much of the Northern Cape with slightly warmer afternoon temperatures. It will be partly cloudy and cool to cold over the western parts of the province. Rainy weather is forecast for the western sections of the Western Cape. It's going to be chilly for Cape Town, Worcester and Langaban, all peaking at just around 16 degrees. Mostly sunny and warmer for the eastern parts of the Western Cape. Mostly sunny weather continues across the Eastern Cape, where mild to warm afternoon temperatures are forecast for your Saturday. We are going to start off the day with a bit of drizzle around Port Shepstone and Durban, and it's going to be partly cloudy and mild to warm for the bulk of the KwaZulu-Natal province. Mostly sunny weather continues across Mpumalanga, a mild 23 for the high in Mbombela. A sunny one is forecast across much of Limpopo, where it's going to stay warm in most areas on Saturday. We are also going to stay with clear skies across the northwest, where top temperatures in the mid-20s are expected in most areas. Overnight temperatures drop to below freezing around Bloemfontein and Bethlehem, and in the afternoon it will be mostly sunny and mild for much of the Free State. Clear skies are also forecast across Gauteng, a warm 25 for the high in Pretoria. Then on Sunday, we are going to see rainy weather continuing from Cape Town, extending through the south coast into the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal coastal areas. It will be mostly sunny for the rest of the country. Then on Monday, we should see lots of sunshine across much of South Africa, light rain for the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal coastal areas.
Finally, here's a cute animal story to end off the work week. Soccer World Cups have become famous for using animals to predict winners, and for this World Cup in Russia, a cat named Achilles has been chosen. The white feline is deaf and, like the soccer players taking to the pitch, he does his own exercises to prepare. Whether this helps will be determined when the tournament kicks off. Here's a recap of your main stories this evening.
As he was running, he said, Rods, the kids, Rods, please, the kids, I'm shot, and he fell down.
Police capture a suspect believed to be linked to a failed hijacking during which a father was shot and killed in front of his children. Gauteng officials admit that the system has failed this woman. Nomsa Maduna was murdered allegedly by her former partner. That's a wrap of your news at 8 p.m. Until tomorrow night. Goodbye.